Hi everybody and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to give you some quick ideas on how to decorate your polymer clay using alcohol inks and PVA glue. As I think in America you call it white glue, so I'm just using this. And really the cheaper the better. School glue, do you call it that? I don't know. The cheaper the better, because we don't want this glue to stick for any length of time. We just want it to mask our polymer clay. So I'll get these things out of the way and we'll begin. I'll just run through them quickly. We've got a stamp, some dotting tools in different sizes, inks, sponges, needle tool or craft knife, either will do, and of course some blanks made out of white polymer clay, and I used Vimo Professional. And those blanks are baked, obviously. So let's get this lot out of the way and we'll begin. I'm going to go quite quickly because it's not rocket science this, but it is fun. Okay, so now that we've got those things out of the way, and I'm just going to tip them off unceremoniously so we can see what we're doing. This is your blank, and what we're going to do with this blank is decorate it. We're going to draw on it really with the white glue, in the same way as if these were pens, as if our dotting tools were pens. So that means that we can have big dots, thick lines, we can have small dots, little lines, and all we need to do is pop some of this white glue into the dish, and then use the pens to put it on to, or the ball tools. Look at that, I'm so convinced that they're pens, I'm calling them pens. Use that to dot it on to your project. Now if I had any intelligence at all I would have tinted the glue. I don't, so I haven't. Okay, I'm going to hold it up to the camera so you can see what I've been doing. We'll make some big dots as well, shall we? Big dot, some thick lines. If you just keep moving the tool, it'll keep moving the glue. I'll just show you this. Now it's not a design as such, but you can get the idea of what I've done. And that must now be left to dry, and it will take a long time to dry. So make yourself a cup of tea, watch the Jeremy Kyle show, I don't know what you're going to do, but let it dry. This one I decorated earlier, and I haven't made a very complex pattern on it for the simple. You can see it's dry because it's gone really flat. I haven't gone very complex with it for the simple reason I don't want to take ages for us to unmask it. Okay, so what we're looking for and what we're trying to get, it might help if I told you that, is something like this. Now you don't have to go crazy with all the colours and the dots and stuff that I've done there. That's just purely to show you how much detail you can get. But that's what we're looking for, to make a kind of batik effect or masked effect. Now I'm going to use my alcohol inks, and I'm going to use some quite bright ones because why not? It's a nice day. You can put these into a little dish, like my little dishes here, or you can just put it straight on the tile. I'm quite messy, so I'm going to put it straight on the tile. And using a sponge, and I'm going to use one that's already been used, you just pick up that ink and deposit it roughly onto, in this case, a heart. You might want to use another colour of ink. I think I'll use some yellow. I'm not a fan of this yellow actually, but I'm going to use it because it's a nice contrast. It says it's bright. I don't find it very bright. I find it kind of yuck. But you know, once it's on the white, it looks a lot better. So, great advice. Use colours you don't like. Let's dot that over. It's looking a bit messy at the moment, isn't it? Some more yellow. Really, when does that look bright? It doesn't. some yellow. That's better. Oh, that looks nice, so yeah. Now, to get a really good batik effect, you probably wouldn't have put quite as much as that on, but we're just doing a quick experiment here. And really, I mean, this is not so much of a tutorial as just an inspiration for you to experiment, because, you know, I can't do your art for you, can I? Okay, so now this ink hasn't had 2 seconds to dry, but we're going to jump in anyway. And as you can see, you just loosen the edge of the glue with a knife or with a needle tool, and then you can pull it off. And look at that, it's amazing. Now you'll be able to think of some better designs than these and some much more subtle effects. But the basic idea is there. I'm trying to do this where you can kind of see it. So I can see there's some glue there because it's kind of shiny. And don't wreck it with the knife or the needle tool like I'm doing here, because you want to keep it kind of flat to your project. There you go. Well, that's not too bad. And as you can see, you get quite a striking effect by doing this. And even something like this that I've just done quite quickly for a bit of fun looks pretty. That last one. Okay, so there you have it. So that's pretty simple, and as I say, it's the concept that we're going for here, not the actual particular design, because these are just examples. Now, the other thing you can do is to obviously this is going to stay a bit dirty. The other thing you can do is to print onto your project or whatever using the white glue. And I'm just give you a quick demonstration here. I won't open them, let's just do this. Now the way I do that is I have a stamp like this. I spread my white glue onto the surface of the tile, kind of thinly. Then I push my stamp onto the glue, and I push the glue onto the tile. Now I forgot to mention, actually, if you don't like the design you've made, you can always wipe it off. I mean, there's nothing to stop you wiping it off. And if you don't like a very small part of it, you like the rest of the design, you can always use a cotton bud, a little wet cotton bud as well, to just wipe it off. Just make sure it's completely gone. I mean, that's not completely gone. You need a baby wipe. But if you give it a good wipe, nothing is lost. You know, you can't. It's very hard to go wrong with this, to be honest, as long as you let the glue dry enough. Now we've got some glue on this stamp. It's pretty dry by now, and we can put the pattern onto the heart. Now I'm not, you know, being very subtle about that, and I don't know if you can see it, but maybe you can actually. You see that? And I can. Obviously I'd have lined that up properly and things if I was doing it for real. But if you do that and then you put your inks on in the same way as I just showed you, you can come out with something a bit like this, which is really cute. And what I would suggest you do, because obviously you can't pick that off with a needle or a craft knife, what I would suggest you do for this is to run it under the cold tap. Once the ink is really, really dry, and give it a good old scrub. Don't be, you know, with a I don't know, a piece of cloth or a wet wipe. Give it a good old scrub, because it will stay, and it will leave behind that masked effect, which I really, really like. I'll wash that under the tap obviously later. So that's two things you can do. You can use it as a kind of ink with your various sized ball pens, or you can use it as a stamping fluid. Now I know there are proper masking fluids on the market, but this is just a try out, it's for fun. Now, find the bin. The last thing I'm going to try to show you here is a technique where we already have ink on the heart, but this time we're going to use black ink to define the pattern. So here we have the ink on the heart, and we also have the white glue, PVA glue. So let's see what happens if I use black ink. This is so random. How do people make sensible tutorials? I don't know how they do it. Anyway, we're going to use black ink and just cover this. I'll probably take time to do the sides and things properly. But now I don't even know what this is going to look like because I haven't tried it at all. So it could be, you know, not something great. But we're going to see. You're going to find out as soon as I am. Oh dear. Right, okay. So we're going to put the black on, and I want the black to be pretty thick, really. Might even put the ink straight onto the project. I'm not sure actually. Let's try that. Okay, so here's the black ink, and it's going on. And I've got to let this dry. So another talk among yourselves moment. So there's the black ink on it. It's a little bit messy, isn't it? I'll let it dry for a moment because you should. And I'll give my hands a wipe. Now, I'm trying to think if there's anything I missed out. I don't think I have. If I have, I'll write it in the description down below. Do make sure that you clean off those stamps, any stamps you use. I'm trying to see if I've got anything else to show you. No, I think we're done. Okay, so I'm going to bite the bullet now. This is probably going to get black ink on it because we haven't let it dry for like 1 minute, have we? But I'm now going to try and take this off, and let's see what this looks like. Now I've done this in the past actually, not this exact one, and it came out really nicely. But as I say, I haven't tried this weird wiggly stripes one. Again, I've made a pattern that's going to come off pretty quickly here. Oh, look at that. That looks really cute. I don't like being so self-congratulatory, but I must admit I do think that looks cute. I like the way I'm showing it to myself and not to you. There you go. Yeah, so you're getting the gist here. And you can do a much, you know, better thing yourself. Again, keep saying that, don't I? But I'm just conscious that I'm showing you a technique and not, you know, something perfect. Okay, so look. And that will, you'll be able to put some varnish over that if you want to. Just keep it in place. Although I think the ink is pretty good, isn't it? That pretty much stays. But you'll get a nice finish with some varnish on that. And that really makes it pop. Oops. Now in my hurry to impress you, I have scratched the ink a little bit there, but there you go. That looks kind of cute, doesn't it? And with more care it would look even better. So those are the things that you can make. It's like this. I have another one somewhere, but I'm not going to show you it. There you go. These are the sorts of things you can make. You'll be able to do better than that because you'll have more time. And I hope you enjoyed that. Do comment down below, like the video if you liked it, and if you didn't like it, just don't tell anyone. Thank you very much for watching. I love you all. Bye bye.